back. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the 10 miles. Today it is very hot. We're doing a short run.
Yeah, short run.
And we're going to talk about how to run in the heat.
Because we are running at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, sunny Portugal. I think it's about 28 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
I'll put somewhere on screen what it is in Fahrenheit because I have no idea.
No.
It's things like ×3 or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's hot, it's humid, it's middle of the day. And for us, I think that this is now, it's kind of everyday situation, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's hot pretty much every day. So, very relevant topic. Liz, what is your first tip
My
for
first
running in
tip.
the heat?
Well,
I
one.
think that before we start, maybe though, I think there are tips that are relevant before you go out, while you are out, and post-run.
Okay.
So, I mean, give whatever.
So, go.
Like maybe give whatever tip you want to give, but then we'll categorize them maybe at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I'd also like to caveat before we go into this is that obviously people are different with heat. I am a sensitive person from England who's been living in the rainy cold, so has been getting used to the heat slowly. But obviously if you're from somewhere super hot, you're probably well more adapted.
Yeah.
Well more adapted than me.
Yeah.
Much more adapted than me. So yeah, I guess these are mine as a someone that's still trying to get used to the heat. You're probably more adapted than I am.
I mean, I am Dutch, but
Yeah.
I have been living here for 2.5 years, so that helps.
Yeah.
I think I can definitely tell though, like before summer and after summer, that my body is, you know, adapting a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's also people that are way less heat adapted than both of us. So
Yeah.
it's a good caveat.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
with that in mind, what's your first tip?
With that in mind, my first tip is water. I feel like water before, after, during, all encompassing the run definitely helps. But also with water, you've got to be careful that you don't over drink water, and you're also plenishing yourself with electrolytes and some salt, because you can actually do more damage than good just drinking a crap ton of water.
Yeah.
So maybe that's mine, because that does all three in one.
Fair. To ask you one follow-up question there though, how would you say people indeed should like pre-hydrate, hydrate and replenish their water? Because like you say, you shouldn't overdrink.
Yes.
But for somebody that maybe is a bit new to running, what would you advise them to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm no scientist. This is just sort of going off what I do.
Yeah.
And also it does depend on if it's extremely hot and how long you're going out for. Obviously, if you're going out for a long time, you want to be taking those electrolytes with you. But I would initially start with some water before the run, and it's optional, but probably an electrolyte. I definitely don't think it's necessary before a run.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably more important during or after a run, because you want to replenish the salts that you've lost, unless you know you're going out on a long one. That's just personally what I do. I don't really like taking electrolytes beforehand. It's more like after.
Yeah.
But yeah, get a little sip in. You don't want to overdo it either, because you will be weeing in bushes. I've definitely done that before. I chugged loads of water. I felt like a water bottle on a run. My stomach's like, oh. And then I've been peeing every 2 seconds. So little sips, more often than just like a big gulp. And then you probably won't get a stitch either.
Yeah. I think indeed little sips are a really big, important trick. I used to always get this stitch.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I was indeed just like gulping down water.
I think a lot of people like wait. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm so thirsty all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They like guzzle it down. It's like, have little drinks before you get too hot, before you need the water. Yeah.
And then replenish a lot when you get back.
Yeah, electrolytes, very important when you get back, especially if you've been sweating loads.
When you go on the long run, do you take like one bottle with normal water and one with electrolytes, or what do you do?
Yeah, I tend to do one with normal water, one with electrolytes. And if it's a race where I can replenish those waters,
Yeah.
then usually I'll take one electrolyte at the beginning and say it's like a half marathon trail race, then I won't replenish the electrolytes. So I'll just then refill up on water.
Yeah.
Because you also don't want too much salt. You don't want too much or too little of anything.
Yeah.
It's a very fine line we're trying to dance on.
And same with electrolytes, because I need to say, like, you'll take one electrolyte, but obviously with electrolytes as well, tablets have different amounts of sodium.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you are taking.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we could do like a full episode on electrolytes, but I guess your first tip is make sure to drink enough water before, during, and after.
Yeah.
If possible, take an electrolyte before going out when it's hot.
Yeah.
And also be aware of it afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think when it comes to water, one thing that I used to do and still do, if I know I'm going out for a really hot run,
Yeah.
I make sure to drink already way more the day before.
Yeah.
Because your body is able to store fluids for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's not like in the morning, it's all out.
Yeah.
So that helps, because I do struggle drinking before I go out. Now I will take like small sips, at least a glass of water. If it's like 5 to 10K. If it's longer, I will probably try to drink a bit more.
Yeah.
And then if it's like, I would say anywhere above 5K, I'm going to make sure to take this less so I can take water with me
Yeah.
when it's hot like this.
Yeah.
In winter, I don't struggle with 10K without like water with me. But now, after 5K, I'm just like, oh my God, I need water. So water.
And then what would your tip be?
Timing.
Nice.
So obviously when it's really hot outside, we all know it gets hotter during the day. It cools off at night. But you can also go out early. So if possible, what I like to do is to just head out early. Especially once we get here in Portugal to like July, August. Then I like to go out just as early as possible.
Yeah.
To beat the heat. It makes running just a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And normally I don't really like running in the afternoon and evening, but I will say I've been doing it more now because of the heat.
Yeah.
And it's not too bad.
You get a good tan.
Yeah. And I think my body is getting used to it.
Yeah.
I always struggled running with food in my stomach.
Yeah.
And also fluids, actually, both of them. But over the last year, I've slowly started to train myself
Yeah.
to take on more and more. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it. So whoever is like, I cannot run in the evening because I get a stitch, my advice, just train it.
Yeah.
Because I was like you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, she was so cute.
So yeah, like train yourself so that you can do it, because going out in the middle of the day, like us here, is really kind of stupid.
Yeah. Especially, as you can see, we're not wearing packs and we don't have water with us.
We're doing a short run, guys.
We're doing a short run.
Short run.
With a water stop in the middle.
Just for this episode. Tip 3.
Tip 3.
I would say sunscreen.
Yeah, I actually get asked this quite a lot. Obviously, our skin's a little different. I have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
I do get asked about sort of like preserving my tattoos or, looking after them in the sun. And I mean, just wear factor 50.
Yeah.
I think that is super key. I don't actually think there's too much difference with tattooed skin or non-tattooed skin. It's just sort of the preservation of those tattoos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of gross wearing sunscreen because you get extra slimy and sweaty.
Yeah.
But it's way better doing that than not having sunscreen on.
I mean, it's a little bit of skin cancer.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I always wear just water resistant factor 50. And one thing that helps a lot is putting it on earlier. So if we go out in the morning, then I try to do it the first thing I come downstairs.
Yeah.
Then I will have like a coffee or whatever, prepare myself to go out. Just so it has a bit of time to get into my skin.
That's a good tip. But if you're like me and have a memory span of a snail, then
you forget.
I forget, and I'm literally going out the door like putting it on to immediately sweat it off. So don't do that.
I guess that's where,
Be more
like,
Caroline.
if you can, like, having sunblock is better
yeah.
because it's so thick,
Yeah.
like what surfers wear.
Which I think is okay around here, but I think if you're going to be running, say, in like London, you might look a little odd.
I mean, own it, you know.
That's true. That's
Own
true.
the look. Show everybody that it's important.
That is
But
true.
yeah, you're right. Also, I think that there might be a difference between running in the heat in like a nature area like this,
Yeah.
or rural area versus in cities.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
think-
goodness.
Cities get so like
It's
sticky and stuffy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, London, as we're filming this, is having a current heat wave, and it's actually hotter there than here.
Oh Lord.
It's 31 degrees. But there's no escape, I feel like, in the city.
No.
Whereas here, obviously, we have like the coastal wind.
Yeah. You have a breeze.
Yeah.
So nice.
And fresh air, which helps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We can find shade.
Yeah.
What would your tip be for somebody in a city to beat the heat, basically?
Oh, I mean, obviously go out early.
Yeah.
When there's no cars. That sort of before work.
Yeah, before the fumes.
Exactly. Used to always help me. What I'd actually quite like doing is having stops. So I'd go to like corner shops and buy like iced water,
That's a good one.
things like that. Some parks have water fountains and things, but I just love having a little stop.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just slow your pace down in the heat.
Yes.
You're not going to be as hot, but I'm sure that is a tip that you're probably going to come up with next.
Well, that is a good tip. I wasn't. It's such a good tip. I think your
Segue on to the next tip.
yeah, your perceived rate of exhaustion, your RPE,
Yeah.
is very different when it's hot. I think it's another thing that people so easily underestimate. Like, it's the same with wind. People think wind doesn't really affect them when they run,
Yeah.
but it does. So does heat. So don't be afraid to just slow down.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, feel like what your body is telling you. Try to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Because if you can feel like, wow, this pace that I'm running now normally feels really easy, but doesn't today, there's absolutely nothing wrong with slowing down.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing like, you know, an easy run based on heart rate,
Yeah.
then just go off your heart rate. Like your body's telling you, I'm hot, I'm tired,
Yeah.
or whatever. Just slow it down. Like, don't need to push to be like, this was my easy pace last week.
Yeah.
I've got to do it again.
Yeah. And same, I think, with workouts or like tempo runs. If you're going to go and do them in the heat, honestly, like, try to just go earlier or later. And if that is impossible, then be ready to just take it a little bit easier, maybe not hit the targets that you set.
Yeah.
Don't mentally crush yourself over this.
Yeah.
It's totally okay. The best runner is the smartest runner.
Yeah.
And it's the one listening to his or her body
Yeah.
and respecting that body as well.
Yeah. But I guess this isn't a tip, segueing away from the pace, but it's more like a good little bit of knowledge on heat training.
Uh-huh.
It's obviously it's nothing on altitude training, but heat training is really good to improve your fitness,
Yeah.
to get used to that overheating, uncomfortable. There is some science behind it, but I don't want to go into specifics because I don't want to say something wrong.
I mean,
But I know there's some science there, guys.
you can probably refer people to David Roche on YouTube,
Yeah.
who's training for the Western States 100 now, and he's running literally like in like winter clothing.
Yeah, in sweatsuits.
Yeah. So, like, watch him. I'm sure that he talks about this as well,
Yeah.
the science behind it, because it is something that you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true effort there.
Yeah.
And commitment. I don't see myself doing it, but
No, I'd rather go on holiday than actually
Yeah.
run in the-
I think one important note also about training in the heat, which I only learned last year. If you run a lot in the heat and you step on the scale and you see weight gain, please don't stress out.
Yeah.
It's your body retaining more water and also learning to retain more water, which is actually super good, especially in summer. So, the dust cloud. So don't freak out over that. Like, the water is a good thing. You should be happy with it, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I think post-run, treat yourself to something, cooling. Have a cold shower,
Yeah.
cold dip.
Nice little smoothie.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
frozen bananas.
That's gonna be me today.
Lift up, yeah. I've been waiting.
For sure.
So I guess we've come to the closing into the end of our short run. So is
Yeah.
there one last tip that we can
One
think
last
of
tip.
to send you on your way?
Good one.
Oh, it's a puppy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey.
Please. It's a bit of a,
Spicy puppy.
bit of a parky puppy. Very cute, but
I love how he was like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah, your puppy is almost biting my
Yeah.
but okay. One last tip. Good question. We covered water, we covered electrolytes, we covered drinking up, like hydrating already the day before, hydrating after,
Yeah.
covered
Timing it
water.
correctly. Maybe that's it. Maybe we've done it all.
Oh wait, one more. Actually, two more.
Okay, see more.
Okay, these are maybe not necessarily heat related, but more sun related.
Okay.
Something we're both doing wrong on this run. Sunglasses.
Yeah, and a cap.
And a cap.
Oh, that's
Protect
another
your
one.
skin.
Oh my goodness, I do this all the time at ultras as well. Sorry to butt in. But bandana,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
dipped in water.
Ice bandanas.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so that actually an ice banana can really help you to cool down.
yeah.
So that's like an actual tip. Obviously a cap can also help you to not get too hot quickly. Plus it just protects your skin.
Yeah.
Again, really important. Sunglasses, like all this UV light, it's not good for our eyes.
Yeah.
Yet here we are.
Like this. Oh,
Clearly.
all those little wrinkles.
Yeah, you forget stuff when you go out for a short, easy run. But wear sunglasses, get a cap. And I mean, if you are really training, say you're training for an ultra, a marathon, and it's really hot, now ice bandana is a great idea.
Yeah. Also, you can freeze your back if you have, obviously you've got water things on the front.
Yeah.
If you have a back water pouch,
Yeah.
freeze that and it will keep your back cool for a very long time.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Also freeze your gels. They're nice and cold when you then eat them.
I've heard of that.
'Cause
tip,
hot
I've
gels-
never tried that.
They're pretty great.
That's a good one. Okay.
So basically freeze everything
Yeah.
that you could own.
So I think with those extra tips, I think we're covered.
Yeah, we're covered. That's it. Now we're just
Alright.
gonna end our short run and get some water.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you on the next one.
See ya!